Hi, welcome to a simple bit of Torchon ground. Torchon is a geometric grid lace, and depending on how many crosses and twists you do, depends on what pattern appears when you pull the pins out at the end. We've done the weave of cloth stitch and we've done a bit of weave of half stitch and just touched upon this in the previous zoom. So I'll start this from here. The pins across the top have two pairs on each. These two at the side that have the yellow pins, they're going to have one pair on each, and I've used yellow pins to remind myself that they are what we call temporary pins, which is usually donated by a dot with a circle around it. The reason will become clear. Also on these grids you have a choice of how to work them. You can work them across, you can work them diagonally, which is the traditional method, but it doesn't matter which diagonal you go for, and you can also change by going diagonal and diagonal, diagonal. You can change the sides as you go along. Some patterns actually need you to do that, but that's way ahead yet. So I'm going to put two pairs on this first pin. I'm going to put them, the first one is going that way, the second one is going that way. And to actually make a stitch around that pin, I'm going to take, remember they're not joined at the moment, but you want them joined or they're just going to dangle off the end of the lace when it's finished. I'm going to do a cross and a twist and a cross and a twist. That has given me a twist on each thread, which is what I need before I get to the next pin. So that is one pair put on. I'll do another one. You can see these are coming down all from one pin, not actually coming from anywhere first. So I'll put one pair around. Again, the pins are pointing slightly backwards. Put another one around and put that to the left of this one. Cross, twist, cross, twist. That means that both the pairs have got a twist on like the other ones. Put that to one side. Put one round. Now what I'm going to do on this one is I will put the second one around and put that to the right, just so that you can see the difference. Now this one will mean, if I zoom in, easier said than done, looks like we're not having zooming ins today, that when I do the first cross, you can see I'm doubling over the thread. It's not working properly, it's not going the right direction, it's actually pulling that thread with it. If I put it over onto the other side, it just wants to sit nicely in the middle. Cross, twist, cross, twist. Right, there's a few. So I'll put those pairs this way. I'm going to add the temporary pin one on. And to do that, just the one round, obviously you can't cross and twist it or it will undo itself. These diagonals are where these threads are going to go. From the pin, if you actually pull your threads, tension your threads, they will all follow a path. If you ever get stuck, you don't know which way one of them's going, they will always follow at a 90-degree angle the paths. If you go skew-if, you'll see you're showing dots, it's not following a line. You want to follow that, that's where it's going. And you know which the next one is because the next one will always be the one where it crosses that one has got a pinhole underneath it. That's basically how Torchon works. So I'll take this pair and I'll do the same thing with this pair that already has a cross on it. If I put a cross on that, it'll come undone, so there's no point. So I'm going to do a cross, twist, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin in between. Pin slightly up, slightly out, cross, twist, tension. Now to tension this one, I'm going to remove that temporary pin. and that thread will come down and they will both sit neatly around that pin. The next one I'm going to bring down, because I'm working diagonally, will be this one. You can see that that is the one that wants to come next, and it will include these on its way to the edge. We're doing the same stitch again, cross, twist, cross, twist. Aha, haven't put the pin in. So that's going to sit, and it will, when you've done it all without a pin, you can't get the evenness. This is why you put the pin in the middle. Cross, twist, that's half the stitch, effectively a half stitch. Pin in slightly backwards, and then finish it with a cross twist. I'll go on to the next one, go there. This one wants to go there, so that's the next one I want to do on that pinhole. Cross, twist. Put the pin in slightly up backwards and cross twist. And then we go onto the last one, this one. This one is coming down, but it changes, as you will see as the pattern works through. Cross, twist, pin, cross, twist, and now you see one pair's left to the outside and this pair is left to come back in again. There are lots of different edging. This is the very simplest edge that I'm starting on. So now I've got 4 pairs coming down that way. So I want the next one, which has gone and twisted itself to be sure. Don't ever try and figure it out. Undo it, start it again. It's easier. Right, so the left one goes over first, cross, twist, cross, twist. Now you can see I'm actually doing the whole stitch round that without putting a pin in the middle because it's tightening up round that first pin. So the first 2 going here. I'm just seeing if I can make it any larger. I can make it smaller. Don't seem to want to go larger today. Cross, twist, pin, cross, twist, cross, twist, pin, cross, twist, put to one side, bring the next one down, cross, twist, pin, cross, twist, put that to one side, bring the next one down, cross, twist, put in the pin, cross, twist, bring the next one down, which is the edge one, cross, twist, put the pin in the edge, cross, twist. Now you'll see that this lime green has started at this point up here, gone all the way through, turned around and come this way, and this blue will turn around at the next one and come back into the ground. So that's the outside one, and now we've got all these that go the right way. And now I need to add more onto this pin here. Oh, let's have a pink over there. Seem to like pinks today. So this is on the left, cross, twist, the pin's already in, cross, twist. You'll notice that every stitch is ending up with there's a twist on each pair. That's without a twist. Sometimes you have to do it like that for a stitch, and that's with a twist. Now this pair will work its way down there. You'll see the grid starting. Then we've got another temporary pin to put on here. So I'll just get the first one wriggled across, cross, twist, cross, twist. You can see how it's building up just using the half stitch that we used that gave us the lattice weave here, that's your half stitch, that's another half stitch. So it's either cross twist, pin, cross twist, or you can call it half stitch, pin, half stitch. If you were doing it without the pin, it would be cross twist, and that would be a whole stitch. But that's not yet. So half stitch, so half stitch, and here's another term coming up for you. I'll put the pin up, and that pin is now open. There's nothing underneath it. This is what's called closing the pin. Cross twist, that's closing around the pin. Sometimes when you go a bit astray, you might have only done that bit and not closed it, which, as you can imagine, it's going to send these different colours different ways, but at the moment they're all staying in their pairs. So I'll close that stitch, cross twist, put the half stitch on, and then I'm coming to the edge again, cross twist, pin at the edge. You can see how when you've done the cross twist your pairs divide. That's your half stitch where your pairs all divide, but then when you do your second half stitch or your cross twist again, they come back together. Now I've got even more pairs coming down, and you're beginning to see, you can see the blue one going down, and it will come down here. They're all going to bounce off the side and you'll get a lattice effect. I will just get to the point where we add this temporary pin. Oh, it's already there. Right, temporary pin with dark green. No twist on this one pair on that one. This is the pair that will come out this way. That's the way they want to go. Even now, I still check when I'm sitting down to start something off, working all in white with much finer thread, many dozens more pairs. I'll check that it's going to where it needs to go. Cross twist, pin, cross twist, that's closing the pin. And on this one, because it's a temporary pin, pull that one out and you can just see it as the thread. Just give it a little pull and it just comes down and sits around that pin. So it looks like it started at that pin, but you've actually started it there and pulled it back through. And then this goes on to work through again. Cross twist, pin, cross twist, and these are starting to come down, making their next set of diagonals. Cross twist or half stitch, put your pin up, close the pin, half stitch, put your pin up, all slightly backwards. The outside ones are slightly outside and slightly upwards. Cross twist, and you can see how it's going, how it's performing that. Now then, this one has found itself with two twists on, but because I'm not looking at which bobbin I'm using, I'm looking here. I thought, oh, that looked a bit long. That's got too many twists on. If I undo it, yes, it had. No twists, one twist. That's why you're looking up here. If it had been the green one with two twists on, you can see that definitely looks different. It doesn't look right. One twist is enough. No twist isn't enough. One twist. Half stitch, pin, and close the pin with another half stitch. The half stitch where we made the lattice, after the cloth stitch here, we were doing this same stitch, but that's without any centre pins, where we were just getting, this is why you use this practice one as much as you can. So when you come to actually doing your stitches, you're very familiar with the cross, twist. This doesn't change. This is what you were doing. Cross, twist. Then you were going on to the next one. Cross, twist, cross, twist. But this, you're stopping at a pin and letting it have another cross twist. Cross twist or half stitch. half stitch. See, they're all coming down nicely there. Cross twist, pin, cross twist. They've all kept their colours, even though they're doing half stitch. Because you've effectively repeated the half stitch, you've gone back to being a cloth stitch. But these have now got twists in between each pin, whereas these others didn't have pins between. So I'm going to do the same here. Cross twist, pin, cross twist. There you go. This purple one has come down here and will bounce off. The blue has bounced off. The yellow has bounced off. And I'll do a little section down to here and then change the stitch. But for now, I can carry on working, keeping on this diagonal. Or if I choose, because sometimes there's a design element that you may want to choose the direction of your work, is you would simply start going the other way. So this pair obviously wants to go there to the edge, that one's going to go down. So I'll do my half stitch there, pin, half stitch, and instead of bringing it this way down, I'm just going to turn around, because if you look, you can see which pin that's going to want to do. Cross twist, pin, close the pin, cross twist, pin, close the pin. Once you get this routine and this rhythm going, it's easier to not miss pins, which is where you go a bit astray. Cross twist, pin, cross twist, cross twist, pin, cross twist. Now instead of carrying on, I'm going to pull these down. You don't get lost, because again, it's all to do with this. Cross twist, pin, cross twist, cross twist, cross twist. You see, every time you make a stitch, one is going away, next one is coming down, cross twist, and the next hole presents itself between them. It does give you the clues. Bring a few more down, but you can see now it's becoming more across, because I'm working this section, this diagonal here. As long as your pieces, as long as your pairs cross over. And it's been a bit of a repetitive video, this one, but a lot of this stitch depends on you having a rhythm, continue always doing the same stitch, remembering your pin, remember to close your pin, checking that your stitches are going in the right direction, that you haven't missed them. If you walk away, you come back and you can see where you should be, because there isn't one worker. Every pair becomes a worker. You can see the pairs are staying in their colours. Now that isn't going to cross that one, even though it's the next one to bring down. There's nowhere for it to go, because they're both going the same direction. So I have a choice now. I can carry on doing these because there's room for them, or bring these down. Where's my next one where they fit? That's the next abandoned pin. So that's the next one. You can always see where you need to pick it up, because it basically, use your pairs. If your pairs don't cross properly, then they're not the ones you use. When you hang them down straight like this, it has a way of telling you where your next stitch is. Find the two pairs that are relevant to it, test it out, and do your cross twist. The cross twist you will not even think about after a while. In fact, if you've done enough of the bandage, this with the cross twist, you won't be thinking about it. Close the pin, And the next one, I've got a choice if I can do this one on this side, or I can do this one on this side. Don't be surprised if there's more than one. You can be very neat and just keep going in one direction, and you'll never have more than one showing. But if you're working different stitches in different areas, you may wish to complete a stitch, a piece of design like a spider or a bit of honeycomb, before you actually carry on. You may want to complete that section rather than doing it in bits. So there we go. There's a nice jazzy disco of a piece of torchon lace. There you go. That's the basic ground, basic edge, basic start. There are loads of ways of doing it. Don't think this is the only way. There are much fancier things to do with it that'll come in time. For now, I think that'll probably do. Bye.